Hello and welcome to our today's class. I'm Lydia Nyaboni and I'll be taking you through production techniques in public relations, which is DJL1314. So we'll just go straight ahead to our lesson for today. But before that, our main purpose, or the main purpose of this particular unit, is to equip you, the learners, or to equip you, the student, with the necessary skills and knowledge on camera operations and production techniques. So by the end of this particular lesson, you'll be able to appreciate why this particular unit is important to you as a student, and you'll get to know that you'll get to learn that it will come in handy in your activities as public relations practitioners, so that when you go out there after finishing your studies and you get out there, in your activities or in conducting your public relations activities, you'll be able to use this particular unit, or the skills and the knowledge that you're going to learn from this particular unit. So that is the purpose of the unit, and we'll just have an introduction. In the introduction, we'll be able to define what public relations is. And here we say that production is the process of putting together different pieces of audio and video clips to create a story. So production is the process of putting together different video clips, different audio clips, so that you're able to create a story. In public relations, production is the process of creating video or audio content to support public relations activities. So you're going to create videos, you're going to create audio, you're going to put together some video clips or some audio clips in order to create a story to help you in conducting your public relations activities. So for instance, in the production of documentaries, advertisements, before you come up with an advertisement, before you come up with a documentary, you're going to conduct a production for you to be able to put together a documentary or to put together an advertisement. And so this particular unit is important to you as PR students, because it is going to help you in being able to do that particular job, or that particular responsibility for you as a PR practitioner. Production techniques in public relations are therefore the skills and know-how of creating and producing quality video content to be used in PR activities. So basically the skills, like I've mentioned, the skills and knowledge in creating content for you as a PR student, or as a PR practitioner, or to help you in conducting your PR activities. Generally, video or audio content supports clients' trust in a brand, since it is the first thing people will look for in order to learn more about your organization. People are going to look for for short clips, short videos, to be able to know more about your organization. And so this particular unit is going to help you in creating that, or coming up with that type of content. So we can look at the importance of production techniques in public relations. It is important that you appreciate why this particular unit is important to you. And so one of the importance of production techniques in public relations is that it aids in documentary production. I've already mentioned that. It will help in proper content creation for the media. You guys are going to work hand in hand with the media. You're going to give content to the media for advertisement, or talking about your organization. And so for you to be able to create that quality content to share with the media, it is important that you get skills in production, so that you're able to create exactly what the media needs, so that you have good media relations, or you have good relations with the media that you're using to reach out to your publics. It is going to be, another importance is that it is going to be able to help you for production of decent videos or photos to accompany your stories. Remember, you're going to create content. You're going to write stories for your organization, stories that reflect your organization's activities. Your organization may be events that you're going to conduct as an organization. You're going to post content on your social media platforms. And for you to be able, or for this particular content to have impact on the public, so the people that you're targeting, it is important that you accompany this content with the photos, or you can accompany this content with the some video clips. And so this particular unit or production techniques are going to help you to be able to do that also. It is going to help you in communicating your organization's brand personality, and also to achieve maximum impact of your PR messages. Just like I've mentioned, when you accompany a particular post or a particular story with a photo or a short video clip, it is going to have more impact than when you're just posting some content without accompanying it with some video or some photo for create some kind of engagement. So after looking at that, we go straight ahead and look at the stages of our production. The different stages of production that you can follow through, or you can use in coming up or producing some video or some content that you want to produce. And we are saying that the stages of production, they're basically the stages of putting video together. Remember, we define production as the process of putting different video clips or audio clips together to create a story. And so the stages of production, they're basically the stages of putting the videos together. From the very first stage, which is pre-production, production, and then post-production. So we'll go ahead and look at these particular stages one by one, starting with the pre-production. And this involves everything from the inception of the project to the setting up for actual recording. So this is that particular stage, the pre-production stage, where you come up with an idea. For example, you're working for an organization as a PR practitioner, and there is need for you to create a documentary for that organization. So this particular stage, the pre-production stage, it is the stage whereby you sit down and decide what is it that I want to produce. So it is basically coming up with the idea, or idea inception. The other thing that the other activities that takes place in this particular stage include concept development, production planning, working on proposals, budgeting, scripting, finding locations, and many other activities. So again, at this particular stage, you're going to need to after coming up with the idea, you're going to need to budget for the production, getting some crew members to help you in producing or shooting the video, getting the necessary audio that you need. You're going to do project proposals that need to be approved maybe by your management. You're going to do scripting to guide you in your production process, or even your editing. You're going to find locations. Remember, there's you need locations where you're going to shoot the, for example, if it is a documentary, you need some particular locations. And so these are the activities that are going to take place in the pre-production stage. So this particular stage in general, it is the planning stage, where you get to plan everything to do with the production. What is it that you need for the production? Do you need some crew members, budgeting, and all those things that we've mentioned? So we're also saying that it is important to consider the purpose of production, the target audience, and also visualize the end product at this particular stage. Try to visualize what it is that you want to bring out at this particular stage, so that when you set out to start your production process, you're able to shoot and get the necessary video content that will be able to give you your desired concept. We're also saying that it is important to have the target audience in mind. Have the target audience in mind, because you're not producing some video to just keep them. You're producing so that you can share with the public, or you have a specific audience that you want to share that particular information with. So have the target audience in mind, and also the purpose of production. So that is the pre-production stage, the very first stage, and then we move straight ahead to the production stage, and we say that this involves actual recording recording of visual images and sound, and capturing of the raw footage. So this is where most of the work in production is done. At this particular stage, you're doing the actual recording of, remember you had come up with the concept that you wanted to produce. And so at this particular stage, this is where you do the actual recording of the visuals and images and sound, and capturing of the raw footage. Shooting of the film begins with setup and rehearsals. You can do rehearsals before you do now the actual recording. The shoot director keeps an eye on the creative aspects of the production, and all crew members take or perform their respective duties. Key activities at this stage again include production management. You're going to do production management, managing the whole process of production. You're going to do directing, so that each and every responsibility or each and every process of production is done according to your plan. You're going to do video and audio recording. You're going to do makeup application of your crew members or the people the cast, and then you're also going to do lighting setup and management, meals and craft services, support, among others. So what you're saying at this particular stage is that this is the stage that you do the actual recording. So at this stage, you're going to do management. You're going to manage the whole process, because at this stage you have camera people, you have people responsible for sound, people responsible for lighting. And so you're going to manage all these people so that you make sure that at the end of the production process, or that at the end of the production stage, you're able to have recorded the necessary footage that you wanted, and it must be of good quality. And for you to have good quality, you have to be able to manage and direct the whole production process in a proper manner. So that is the production stage, where all the raw footage is recorded, audio and video. And then now we move straight ahead to the post-production, and here we say that at this stage, all the raw footage comes together into a polished product. So remember, you had an idea, you sat down, you came up with an idea, you went ahead and planned everything, you budgeted for it, you got some crew members to help you in the production, and then you went ahead to shoot or to film whatever it is that you wanted to shoot, or that you filmed the concept. And now after shooting the concept, this is now where we say that at this stage, all the raw footage comes together into a polished product. It consists of the editing of the recorded images and sounds, creating a general flow of the video. Remember, when you were shooting, or when you were on location, you're just shooting maybe some pieces of clips. So at this particular stage, you're going to put these particular clips together so that you're able to create a chronological flow, and also to create a story that is easily understood. So this stage generally ties together the audio and visual elements of production and smooths out all the rough edges. So you're not going to use all the clips or the clips or all the footage that you've shot during the production process. You're going to choose the necessary, or all the clips that you think are necessary to be put together to come up with an end product. And we're saying that you're putting together audio and visual, so that you accompany all the visuals that you have with the audio, and you sync them in such a manner that they can create a story. So the activities in this case include film development, film transfer to tape or digital media, color correction, digital manipulation, editing, text and graphics design, video compression or encoding, and also distribution. So you're going to at the editing editing stage, which is also the post-production stage. These activities of film development, you're transferring all the clips that you have from your cameras to maybe an editing machine, and therefore, and after that, you're able to do color corrections, manipulate the video digitally, add some graphics, so that you're able to have an end product which is able to be distributed. So that is post-production, and those are the 3 steps of production, or the 3 stages of production. These particular stages will help you in planning, shooting, and coming up with a video or a project that you can share. Whether it is an advert, whether it is a documentary, these particular stages will help you, and they will guide you in coming up with a project or a necessary content that you need. So after looking at the stages of production, we can look at the basic production elements or equipment, so that as much as you've learned about the different stages of production, get also to learn the necessary equipment, or just the basic equipment that you will need in conducting a production. So number 1, which is very important, is the camera. We say that it is the most basic equipment in any and every production. It is principally designed to convert the optical image as projected by the lens into an electrical signal, often called the video signal. The lens is a crucial feature of cameras, which is used in selecting a part of the visible environment and produce a small optical image. So the camera is going to help you. It is one of the very basic production equipment that you're going to use in capturing the video, in capturing the images that you're going to use in your project. Number 2 basic equipment is the light, or the lights. Lighting is important in production to provide illumination of the subjects, to light up the scene, and to establish the mood of the video. So lighting is going to help you. It is one of the basics also, because without light, your images or the images that you're going to record, they're not going to maybe come out clearly, depending on the environment in which you're shooting in. So we're saying light is very important in production to provide illumination of the subjects, to light up the scenes, and to also establish the mood. Depending on the light that you're going to use in your production, it is going to establish the mood of the project or the concept that you're going to shoot. So the different lighting techniques, we can look at one of them, which is the 3-point lighting. And in the 3-point lighting, or if you decide to use a 3-point lighting in your production, that means you'll have 3 different types of light, which is the key light. And the key light is focuses on the main person or on the object in the scene. So that if you have a key light, it is the one that is focusing on the subject in the scene. We have the fill light. It is used to eliminate shadows created by the key lights. So that if you have the key light focusing on the subject, this key light might create shadows on the subject or in the scene, and so you introduce the fill lights, which is going to help you in eliminating the shadows that are created by the key lights. And then the other one is the backlight. This light provides a direct contrast between a specified person or object and the background environment. So we have the key light focusing on the subject in the scene, and then we have the fill light to reduce or to remove the shadows created by the key light, and then we have the backlight. So the backlight is going to help you to be able to differentiate between, or to be able to provide a direct contrast between the subject and the background. So that is one of the most common used lighting technique, the 3-point lighting technique, and you can decide to use that kind of lighting technique in your videos. They will help you to illuminate your subjects properly. So We can look at the types of microphones. And the microphone are the third most basic equipment used in production. We've looked at the camera, we've looked at the lights, very basic in production, and also now the microphones. And we go straight ahead to looking at the types of microphones. But before that, we can define what microphones are used for. We say that they're used in production to convert sound waves into electrical energy or the audio signals. So there are different types and classifications of microphones. Number one type of microphone is the dynamic microphones. We say that they are versatile and strong. Thus, they are ideal for general purpose use. So the dynamic microphones, just from the name dynamic, they're very versatile. You can use them in most situations. So we say they are versatile and they are very strong. Another feature that makes them to be able to be used in any or for general purpose use. They are less sensitive and are better choice for most recording situations, including stage performances and live settings. So you can take advantage of these particular microphones, the dynamic microphones, because they are versatile, they're dynamic. You can use them in almost all situations. And then we have the condenser microphones, another type of microphones. They are very sensitive, thus can capture a ton of detail. For this reason, they are specifically in controlled environments with no noise and great acoustic, like in studio settings. So these, we say that they are a little bit very sensitive. They can collect a lot of information or background information. They can collect a ton of detail. And so we say that they're specifically used in controlled environments. Controlled environments, like for example, if you're using them in a studio which is acoustically treated. And then we have the ribbon microphones, which is the last type of microphones. And these ones, we say the microphones, they're run with the help of a metal ribbon that is suspended in a magnetic field and is connected electrically to the microphone. They're expensive and very fragile. So this particular group of microphones, the ribbon microphones, they're very expensive and they're very fragile. So maybe you can be taking advantage of any of the camera, of the microphone, that you can decide to use depending on your situation, depending on where you're shooting from. If you're shooting from maybe a indoor or in a studio which is well controlled or well acoustically treated, then you can go for the condenser microphones. Or if you're shooting out there, you're shooting some live performances, you can go for the dynamic microphones. So that is another basic equipment that you will need in case you need to conduct a production. And then apart from the types of microphones, there are also some classification of microphones. Microphones are also classified differently. For example, we have the omnidirectional microphone. This type of microphone usually picks sounds from all directions. It can easily be used for outside broadcast. So omnidirectional microphones, they're those that are usually used especially for outside broadcast, and we're saying that they can pick sound from all directions, so that if you place them at a particular point, they will pick sound from all directions. And then we have the unidirectional microphones. This type of microphones can be used in one direction. It can only handle about 2 persons and not more than that, and the persons must be positioned in the same direction. We have the bidirectional microphones. This kind of microphones can be directed at the voice from different directions at the same time. This type of microphone is most suitable for interviews and group discussion situations. And then we have the personal microphones or lapel microphones. This is a small electric clip on the microphone which is extensively used for speech, pickup. It can be attached to the lapel, shirt or tie, and may be hidden beneath a cloth. So this is just like a small microphone that is put somewhere, maybe on your cloth, or to pick sound from a one point. And then we have the hanging or the boom microphones. They're basically, or they're mostly used in shooting, maybe production or dramas. So this type of microphone is usually suspended over the action area and is effective for area sound picking. For area sound picking. So that is the classification of microphones. We had the types, and now we've looked at the classifications. And what we're basically saying that it is microphones are a basic requirement for you in production. So we move on and look at another basic requirement or basic equipment for you in production, and that is the sound recorder. Used in recording the sound picked up by the microphone. It can also be used to select a specific microphone or other sound input. It can be used to amplify a weak signal from a microphone or other audio sources for further processing. So when you talk about the sound recorder, it is another basic equipment that you will need in conducting your productions. And here we say that they're used to record sound picked from the microphone. So from the microphone, if for example it is a lapel microphone, from the microphone to a sound recorder. The sound recorder records the sound that comes from the microphone. So we have the videotape recorders. They're used in recording the visuals as captured by the camera. We have the sound recorder to record the sound, and then we have the videotape recorder to record the images that you're going to be recording during your production process. We have the post-production editing machine, another basic equipment that you will need for you to be able to have an output, or for you to be able to have an end product that you can share or distribute. So the post-editing or post-production editing machine, it is a machine, it can be a laptop, it can be a computer, to help you in now putting the raw footage or the raw clips together in a chronological manner for you to be able to create a story out of it. So at this particular stage, you'll also need some softwares. Apart from the laptop must be, or if you're using a laptop or if you're using a computer, you'll need to install some specific softwares to help you in putting the audio clips or the video clips together to create a story. So those are the basic requirements or the basic equipment that you're going to need in a production, or for you to be able to produce some content, for you to be able to record some content, edit it, and have an end product, a production, some video that you can share, some video that can help you in conducting your public relations activities. Whether you're going to share them on your social media platforms, whether you're going to share them with the media, these particular equipments are going to help you in recording and being able to edit them. So we can, after looking at the basic equipment that you're going to need for production, we can go ahead and look at the basic camera operation techniques and tips. What are those basic camera operation techniques that you need to know of? Just basic, to help you in, for example, if you're going to do a production, you know the stages of production, you know the basic equipment that you need. So what are the basic camera operations? How are you going to operate your camera or any other technique that you might need to conduct? So we look at one of the most basic camera operation techniques, and that is the camera movements. It is the use of the camera to obtain various camera angles and perspectives. They're used in following a subject movement and action. So camera movements are basically going to help you in getting different angles during production and also following your subject during production. So one of the camera movements that we look at today is the panning. And we say that in panning, the camera moves horizontally from left to right, or from left or from right to left. The purpose of a pan is to reveal a setting, sweep across a subject side than the screen, or show the relationship between two subjects. So for example, if you have two subjects in your production, or maybe you have, yes, you have two subjects, you need, and maybe you're using one camera, so you need to maybe move the camera from subject A to subject B. So that particular movement of from left to right, or from right to left, we call it panning. So you're moving to show your subjects on the other side, and you're also moving to show your subject on this other side. So we say that panning is moving the camera horizontally. We have the tilting. The camera moves vertically from top to bottom, or bottom to up. The purpose of a tilt is to reveal parts of a vertical subject. It's useful for showing tall objects, show the relationship between parts of a subject, or add suspense or surprise. So when you talk about tilting, another camera operation technique that can come in handy during your production processes, we say that it is moving the camera vertically. We've looked at panning, moving from left to right, or from right to left. And so when you talk about tilting, you're moving the camera from top to bottom. You as the camera person, or if you're the camera person, you're the one moving the camera from top to bottom. You could move the camera to show the subject, maybe the shoes, and then you move upwards to show maybe their face, and that is tilting. You're tilting the camera upwards, or you're tilting the camera downwards. And then we have zooming. This is the view of a subject changing from tight to wide, or wide to tight, using the zoom controls on the lens. So this particular movement of the camera, or this particular camera operation technique, involves you zooming. And when you're zooming, you're using some particular buttons on your camera to be able to move your subject closer, or to be able to move it far away, so that you have you're moving it to be wide, or to be tighter or closer to the screen. And then we have the tracking, which is the last, or the very last camera movement, basic camera movement. The camera physically moves from left to right. To track, the camera will need to be on heels, or to be on wheels, or a track. The track is much like a pan. The difference is that a track is often more dramatic. So in this particular camera movement, you're also moving the camera from right to left, or from left to right. But we talked about the panning, which is also the same movement. But now in this case, we're saying that the camera must be on wheels, or a track, which moves it around. So it is not you as the camera person that is moving the camera from this side to this side, or from this side to this side, but it is on a track which moves around, so that you're following the subject from this side to this side, or from this side to the other side. So those are the basic camera movements that you can take advantage of in your productions. And then we have the camera shots, another basic technique that will come in handy for you as a PR person if you need to do production. In getting to know the camera movements, that is a technique that will come in handy. And you also need to know to learn some basic camera shots, so that you know how to, or the necessary shots that you'll need in your production. And number one of them is the extreme long shot or the establishing shot, and this we say is an opening shot or sequence that establishes the location and sets the scene. So that, for example, if you want to produce a documentary for Mount Kenya University today, if you want to get an establishing shot, we say that it is an opening shot or sequence that establishes the location or sets the scene of a location and sets the scene. So you're going to maybe take a long shot of maybe the gate to establish the location of Mount Kenya University. Before now you get to the nitty-gritties or to the other things that you need to include in your documentary. So it is an opening shot or sequence that establishes the location and sets the scene. We have another camera shot, which is the long shot. In this type of shot, the camera is at its farthest distance from the subject, emphasizing the background. And then we have the medium shot. It shows more detail. It gives the impression of the whole subject while being able to place the subject in an environment. And then we have the close-up, covers the subject from the head to the shoulder, or we can also call it the shoulder shot. And then we have the extreme close-up or the big close-up. So the extreme close-up, for example, you can maybe take, if it is my eyes only, that is an extreme close-up. So that is another basic camera or production technique that you might need to equip yourself with, which is very important. It is a basic one. And then after looking at that, we can go ahead and look at planning your shots. You can consider the following when planning your shots. Framing. This is the process of creating composition. How do you compose your images? How do you compose your subjects within the screen? And then we have the headroom, which is the space between the top of the subject head and the top of the frame. Between the top of the subject head and the top of the frame. Don't give your subject too much headroom that they feel like they are they're not well composed. And then we have the talking room, we have the looking room, which is the amount of space between the subject and the edge of the screen they are facing. Where is your subject facing? So you give them some space, which is the looking room. And then we have the walking room. It refers to the space in front of the subject in the direction the subject is moving. So that if your subject is moving towards this direction, you give them space in front of them, which is the walking room. If they're walking towards this direction, you give them space in front of them, which is the walking room. So this particular techniques or these particular concepts will come in handy. They're basically to help you get to know how to compose your images properly when doing production. So we have some quick tips for you during production. And rule number 1, during production, don't cut your subjects at the knee, neck, elbow or wrist. Don't just cut your subjects maybe, for example, on their knees, you cut on their waist, or maybe on their shoulders. Make sure that you shoot your subjects away from their joints. And then we have avoid jump cuts. A jump cut occurs when a long scene is edited with the middle removed, leaving the beginning and the end. To avoid this, always shoot one scene from one angle and then move the camera or change the angle for the next shot. Another quick tip for you is that you give the subject directional room. If the subject is moving from right to left, give the subject lead room to the left of the frame so the viewer can anticipate the action. So those are some just some quick tips to help you in having or producing quality videos, quality content. So that is the end of our lesson today. I hope you appreciate why this particular unit is important to you as a public relations student, and also you've captured a few things, a few tips, a few techniques, or a few skills and a few knowledge that I will be able to help you in conducting production for your organizations. So that if you're called upon, or if one of your responsibility is to provide coverage for your organization's activities, or if you're called upon to produce a documentary, to produce an ad for your organization, to communicate to your public through some video content, or you need some short clips to share on your social media platforms, you're able to go ahead, conduct a production, plan the different stages of the production process, and be able to come up with the necessary content that you need to communicate to your public, so you need to share with the media. So that is the end of our class today. Until next time, thank you.
These televised lectures supplement our robust online learning going on our MKU online platform. You can view more on our televised lectures via our online platform. We are in a digital era, and Mount Kenya University knows this. The following are the steps to follow so as to complete your online application. Download the application form from the website www.mku.ac.ke. Attach copies of your academic certificates and ID. Pay the application fees via M-Pesa pay bill number 270988. Your ID is the account number. 2,000 shillings is the charge for a postgraduate. You can also deposit in the bank accounts provided on the website. Then email all the above to apply@mku.ac.ke.